This is a list of 10 most famous Rembrandt paintings. Without a doubt, the most famous of all Rembrandt's paintings, The Night Watch, is a group portrait of a militia company. Painted in 1642, The Night Watch isn't a night scene, as most people believed it was. Cleaning in the mid-1940s revealed that it is set in daylight. During a relocation in the 18th century, the most famous Rembrandt painting was trimmed, most notably on the left side, which resulted in the loss of some characters, but also changed the composition of the painting by making the lightly colored girl and lieutenant the most dominant figures of the scene. Painted in 1633, The Storm on the Sea of Galilee depicts the miracle of Jesus calming the storm. Rembrandt's painting has been unfortunately lost for 2 decades. In 1990, it was stolen from a museum in Boston by 2 thieves disguised as police officers. Besides The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, the thieves had also stolen Rembrandt's portrait of a lady and the gentleman in black, and 11 other major artworks with a total value of $300 million. Today, we still do not know who stole the major artworks. The frames that used to hold the masterpieces still hang empty. One of many Rembrandt self-portraits shows this artist at work. He is depicted holding his palette and brushes with 2 circles in the background. There are several theories about the meaning of the 2 circles, ranging from a map of the world to various symbolic meanings. However, we will probably never know why Rembrandt painted the 2 circles and what he was trying to communicate. Painted between 1665 and 1659, the self-portrait with 2 circles is considered as one of the greatest masterpieces of Rembrandt's later years and one of the best self-portraits he has ever created. Painted in 1632, the anatomy lesson of Dr. Nicholas Tulip depicts a Dutch surgeon holding an anatomy lesson on the corpse of an executed criminal. In 17th century Holland, there was 1 public anatomy per year that was performed on the body of an executed criminal. The Bathsheba at her bath, finished in 1654, depicts Bathsheba, wife of Uriah, at the moment she was seen by King David from the roof of his palace. According to the biblical story, David had her then brought to him to sleep with her. Since she became pregnant, David recalled her husband from the army, hoping that he would sleep with his wife and think that he is the father of the child. But because Uriah did not consume his marriage, the king sent him to sure death by ordering his general to place him on the front lines. After Uriah's death, David married the widowed Bathsheba. Danae is a life-size depiction of the character Danae from Greek mythology, the mother of Perseus. She is presumably depicted as welcoming Zeus, who impregnated her from a shower of gold. It is finally finished in 1636 and is considered to be one of the greatest masterpieces of Rembrandt's paintings. Completed in 1662, The Conspiracy of Claudius Civilis was originally the largest painting he has ever created. After the painting had hung in the Amsterdam Town Hall, the work had been returned to Rembrandt. He most likely have never been paid for this painting that was once hung in the Amsterdam Town Hall. Rembrandt drastically cut down the painting to a quarter of the original size to be sold. It is easier to sell a smaller painting than it is a life-size painting. The Return of the Prodigal Son is an oil-painted painting by Rembrandt. It is painted within 2 years of his death in 1669. In the painting, the son has returned home in a wrenched state from his travels, in which he has wasted his inheritance and has fallen into poverty and despair. He kneels before his father in repentance, wishing for forgiveness and a renewed place in the family, having realized that even his father's servants have had a better situation than his. Standing at the right is the prodigal son's older brother, who crosses his hands in judgment. In the Bible, he objects to his father's compassion for the sinful son. Jacob Blessing the Sons of Joseph is a 1656 oil painting by Dutch artist Rembrandt. Jacob Blessing the Sons of Joseph shows a scene from the Old Testament book of Genesis, chapter 48. In this scene, Joseph brings his two sons, Manasseh and Ephraim, to his dying father Jacob, so that they can receive the family blessing. According to tradition, the eldest son is blessed with the patriarch's right hand. However, Jacob deliberately crossed his arms and put his right hand on Ephraim's, the younger sons, and put his left hand on Manasseh's, the older sons. Jacob was displeased and thought that his father was making a mistake. When Joseph tried to correct his father, Jacob refused and told Joseph that he was purposely blessing the younger son. Rembrandt also added Joseph's wife and mother of his sons, who wasn't present in the biblical account of Jacob's blessing of Joseph's sons. This Rembrandt masterpiece is owned and displayed in Germany today. From the earliest days of Christianity up until Rembrandt's 17th century, the idea of portraying Jesus as a human was completely inappropriate. The Veil of Veronica, the Mandolin, the Shroud of Turin, and the Laternius Letter set the standard for rules followed when depicting Jesus. Not only did Rembrandt throw these typical ways to depict Jesus completely out the window, but he went a complete opposite way. He took a regular Jew off the street and brought him to his studio, where he painted him like a human. This new way of seeing Jesus completely revolutionized the art world. More and more painters started to paint Jesus more and more like a human instead of a god. Thank you all for listening to my presentation.